Well, welcome to the first of 6 videos that's looking at how do you launch a traditional project management project. And what we're going to do during this particular video is provide an overview of that launching process. All right, so here's a summary of the chapter. We're really going to talk about during this particular the chapter, how do you build that team? How do you conduct that project kickoff meeting? What are going to be your operating rules? How do you handle scope changes? So those are the core issues that we're going to address during this chapter of launching a traditional project management project. Here are some of the tools and techniques that you'll have associated with this. We'll spend a little bit of time looking at how do you solve problems, decision making, conflict resolution, all those, how do you build consensus. We'll use some fairly simple models for looking at this, but it is important. We'll spend also some time on team meetings, talk about the idea of a standing 15-minute meeting and how all of that plays together. Look at your scope change management process, because you are going to have changes to requirements, and how you address those depends on which project management lifecycle model you're actually in. And then we'll work through the communications management, building work packages, and assigning those out. All right, so here's a definition of a project team. I think it's pretty straightforward in terms of it's a group of professionals. They're focused on achieving common objectives. They need to work well together and get things done. You're going to have a project manager, may have a second project manager from the client side, the core team, development team, a client team, and then perhaps you have some contracted members for the team, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. Here are the characteristics of that core team. Not going to spend a lot of time on this, but obviously they've got to play well with others and work together to accomplish the project in the schedule assigned. Client team members need to understand what their business unit processes are. They don't need to understand the technology, but they need to be able to characterize how they get things done within their business and be able to define what data they need and how they use that data to reach decisions. They also need to be able to make decisions. So if they're not in a position of power where they can make decisions, it's not going to be helpful in moving the business unit forward. Contract team members, you got to be careful. There's some implications here. They tend to be great additions to teams, but every now and then you're going to run into challenges where their commitment, they know their contract's coming up to an end. They've got to look for their next job. Quality of work may be poor and may require more supervision. Obviously, you've got a deeper trust relationship and with other forms of team members, but keep that in mind. Sometimes you do need to augment your team, and you're probably going to have some special practices to handle contract team members. It really is a balancing act between developing a deployment strategy and developing a team development plan for moving forward. One other thing I forgot to mention on contract team members, they're probably best for a traditional project approach. The other projects, agile, extreme, emergency, you just run into challenges with contract members being able to come in and spin up to where you are in that particular project. It's high risk and high uncertainty already. You don't need to add to that risk and uncertainty. All right, here are some areas where project teams can improve. And again, you want to kind of monitor these things as things are going along and make sure that they are staying on track. And here are some responsibilities associated with particular project teams. All right, well, good. What are project member responsibilities? So what I want to do now is go ahead and finish up this first of 6 videos looking at how to launch a traditional project management project. We talked briefly at the beginning of some of the kind of key deliverables that come out of this particular phase. What we're going to do next is move into looking at a kickoff meeting and how that kickoff meeting works, how group dynamics work, those type of topics. So keep on studying, keep on learning, and I look forward to seeing you soon.